I might have accidentally hit the space bar.
He's a professional, I promise.
That's why I wear a Pikachu onesie.
Bobby's going to get food, so he's out.
How are you going to eat food
We're just
with
gonna
that mask
BS
on?
for a couple of minutes.
I don't know. How are you gonna strain soup with a mustache?
He could certainly
Strain
poke holes
soup?
in the filter and then just shove it in there. I don't. Yeah, you don't want to talk about Steve's tally. We all understand.
The question is, do we actually have all our viewers, the 7 viewers back, or are we just talking to no one?
Are we talking to the Earth?
Because we accidentally turned off the stream just in the middle of a sentence. Anyway,
professionals.
They'll backtrack. It's fine.
Yeah,
okay,
so we'll figure it out. Liam will figure it out.
Asked if I wanted to split into Dominus Box. I said no. Then I was watching a League YouTuber I watch, and they started getting into 40K,
Bricky.
the whole dice check. No, not Bricky. It was Magikarp. But
okay.
And then I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I did some research on it, and I was like, oh, custodians are kind of cheap, and they like. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, so I just want to be a thick boy and sit in the middle and do nothing. And then I played Kyle, and then I lost 7 times in a row.
Yeah, that sounds about right when you're playing against Kyle.
Yeah.
Especially when I didn't know what I was doing. So eventually I got to the point where I was like, all right, I've got 1,000-ish points of custodies. I think it was like 6 bikes, 3 Terminators, and 5 guards. And I was like, you know, I like them, but I'd like to try something else. And then I saw Celestine.
Wait, so you're telling me you had 1 5 flop custodian guard squad? You had just enough to fill 1 troop slot.
Yes.
And then
and then I was like, oh, I'll buy Celestine, and I'll try really hard to paint her, and I'll paint her really nice. And she was my she wasn't even my 20th model. She was like my 15th model, and she turned out really nice.
I've never seen a man so aggressively fall down the stairs as you just described yourself.
And then I was like, oh, I'll paint Celestine. And then I painted Celestine really nice. The Gemini Superior are kind of awful, but we don't talk about them because no one cares about them and they're awful.
What do you mean? They can be revived.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no one cares about them. So
it's a Rob.
It's Rob. And so I was like, oh, I really like painting Celestine. I should probably build a Sisters Force for that. And then it just snowballed, and then it just snowballed, and then it just snowballed. And then I was like, you know what I could do? I could build a Raven Guard force. That'd be funny. And then I built a really dumb Raven Guard force that, like, absolutely steamrolled Bobby, and I was like, oh, maybe this is good. And then I played someone else, and I was like, oh, no, this is not good.
Well, it's easy to steamroll Bobby, isn't it?
Rob's putting on a coif.
The thing about Raven Guard is it's very good at, like, oh, you have buff characters? Delete. Yeah. Oh, you touched me? All right, I guess I'm dead.
Oh, is it really that bad?
Yeah.
Their chapter tactic is if you're 12 inches away and they're in or on a terrain feature, they get dense cover. If you're 18 inches away, they get light cover.
Oh, so it's like...
And their super doctrine is like in the tactical doctrine, they get +1 to hit and wound characters.
Just characters.
Just characters.
So it could be amazing, but it's not.
Yes.
If you played against Guard, I think that would do okay.
But I also took a 10-man unit of Hellblasters with the long-range Hellblasters, which is not good, which is objectively the incorrect thing to take. Also 6...
frozen painting images because the camera on...
Yeah, we don't know what happens.
Yeah, it did camera things.
Actually, he's still painting. He's just painting so fast you can't actually see it.
Yeah.
You want to see me run to that rock?
You want to see me do it again? So, for me, I got started playing Warhams when I was 11.
A wee lad.
Just a wee lad. First off, I started out with reading the Eisenhorn Omnibus.
See, and that's where you're interesting, because you got started with, like, the novels and stuff.
Yeah.
Versus, like, the hobby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started out with the novels, and then I hopped over to the hobby when I found a Battle for... Let's see, what would have actually been called? The Battle for McCraig box set.
Oh.
Where it was push-fit Marines versus Tyranids. And the box was only like $100 to get started in Warhammer. Don't you miss those days, Alex?
$100 to get started. That's magical.
Yeah, it was super cheap. It was insanely cool. I found that at the air traffic over in Eden Prairie, and basically just hopped into it and never looked back. I was playing games in the back room of the air traffic over there which, by the way, we had like this much space between the tables and like the wall.
Yeah. Sounds
So
about right.
we had thigh space, and that was it. When I first actually got started in Warhammer, I started out with Chaos Space Marines, and then I hopped over to Guard, and then I hopped over to literally everything else, but I kept always coming back to Guard. So, I mean, that's kind of all I play nowadays is just Guard. I was thinking about doing Black Templars, but, meh.
I'm not too happy with that.
Shocked. I'll never do it, mostly because Black Templars are super boring when I could just run Katie and spam
They're
with
also
300
not
dudes. No, they're super good.
Are they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really competitive right now.
Dude.
Black Templars are putting up numbers.
Okay.
They straight up no.
I based my entire assumption on their army based off the army box they made, and
No.
that army box is kind of garbage, so I just kind of assumed they were garbage.
Yeah, so my little special Grey Knights thing, my
He's hopping on a soapbox now.
5-up. Yeah, seriously. 100%.
Oh, I remember you complaining about this.
Yeah.
This chaps my cheeks to no end.
Claps his cheekums.
So
It's the
we
worst
have
idea.
in Grey Knights Codex, we have a 5-up Feel No Pain against mortal wounds. Mm-hmm. Guess who also gets that?
Custodians.
No,
Black Templar.
Black Templars for whatever their oath
Morgan
or
Vol.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so, what makes my Grey Knights special now?
They're
Absolutely
gray.
nothing.
And they also have psychers.
Oh, okay, cool. I
Well-
have an army full of psychers. Sure, I can spam smite. Sure, I can spam hammer hand. Sure, but realistically, they're no more durable than any other. You hold your tongue on that sanctuary nonsense.
I'm not talking yet. I'm just lolling my head back and forth because my helmet is super heavy.
Okay.
Have you ever held on to a World War II U.S. Army helmet?
Yeah.
They're heavy.
Yeah.
All right.
Trent's got a bat in his backpack.
But
Eldar have no reason to complain because some Eldar are good.
No, they're
no,
trash.
they need help.
Drukhari.
Dark Eldar
Oh yeah,
are
they're
amazing. Hi,
not.
Trent.
Harlequins. Hi Trent.
He looks like Captain Hammer from Dr. Horrible Sing-Along blog.
Hey! At least you're not Tau. At least you're not Tau.
You, sir, are lying to the entire stream, and I'm disappointed in you.
Why?
Because Eldar are trash tier.
Are Tau not
I mean,
trash
Tau
tier?
are worse, but Eldar are trash tier.
I mean, I got.
At least you're not
Table
squats.
Tau.
There, is that better? You
Were
still
you playing
exist
for
as
fun,
an
or were you
army.
playing,
I was
like...
playing Chris.
Okay, that's fair. Chris is, like, a weird enigma of side hustle shenanigans.
Yeah.
Have
I
you
got-
seen
I got
the Elder bikes he
sad.
painted?
I mean, I'm not
Oh,
surprised.
the Harlequins?
Yeah, he
Harlequins.
has like or Harlequins. He has like one like normal sized one, and then he has what he calls the thick ones that are like twice their size.
Yeah, the
and they
thickums.
just have the biggest rear ends. It's hilarious.
They are booty thick.
Also, I made the mistake of bringing my brand new, freshly painted Telemon Dreadnought to a game against Eldar, in which it immediately went poof and disappeared.
Was it Dark Eldar?
No, it was
Harlequins.
Harlequins. So Alex, he's not actually talking about Eldar in general. He's talking about Harlequins.
I was, yeah.
Harley.
Yeah.
I was talking about Harlequins. Technically, they're still Eldar, but they're not Eldar in the Codex.
I'm gonna judge.
I
you.
was being a pedantic a-hole.
I'm judging you for your semantics now.
You're judging the man sitting here in a Pikachu suit. I'm above your judgment.
I, sir, am wearing a battering ram on my head,
And I have a mustache.
and he has a mustache.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of mustache, hey Steve, where are you sitting for Warhammer and getting started out on that?
Grey Knight Terminators.
Is that
Like,
it?
straight up.
5th edition Grey Knight Terminators,
I
or was?
I
Oh, that's right. You got started way
I got
later.
started late. So my very first box was the Shadow Spear box.
Don't forget Corsairs, Alex.
Right. The Shadow Spear box, I thought they were cool. I liked like the idea of Warhammer and like how dark it was.
You spelled Harlequins wrong too. I'm judging you.
I ain't gonna judge.
I am.
But then I kind of was like, I like Marines, but like, I want like holier Marines,
He
right?
semi-professionally edits people's books, like he did several of them. So, spell your stuff right, bud. I love you. Sorry,
You
please
get
go
paid-
on. Tell.
You get paid for this, for editing. I'm assuming.
Yeah, he gets paid for editing. Well, the person he was
Wait,
editing for,
being,
unfortunately,
being
passed
really
away.
hard on people's grammar
Yeah.
can get you paid.
No,
guess.
spelling. Grumpy.
Anyway,
Grey Knight Terminators.
Grey Knight Terminators. So then I kind of fell off. Didn't really go much anywhere with the Shadow Spear box, and then came across Grey Knights, and I was like, those Terminators look really cool, like really cool. And I bought my first box of Grey Knight Terminators, put them together, loved the sculpts because they did all of the work for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Chef's
like,
kiss.
seriously, for anybody that's new to it, if you want something that has, like, detail or scroll work and things on it, just do the stuff that does the work for you. I mean, like, good Lord, it makes you enjoy it so much more and less stress on you. Then I collected, like, 3,200 points of that. And then it's been Custodians, Sisters of Battle, and who knows next.
I still love
Probably
that
chaos.
your whole thing about
gonna
Sisters
be
of Battle
something.
is literally, what's the most obtuse way I can play Sisters of Battle?
What's the most difficult model you've ever painted?
Ooh.
The Picasso.
No cussies.
Hey, Fatman3D, thanks for subscribing with
Thanks for the
Prime.
sub.
I feel so at home. A fat man subscribing to 3 other fat men.
I would honestly, my most difficult model that I've painted is still to this day the fine cast Calgar Drago.
Bring me Solo and the Wookiee.
That model was such a pain.
Oh,
I broke his
gosh.
sword because I was new to fine cast, and I was like, I can do this. Tunk.
I remember when that model was metal, and everyone kept making jokes about putting that and the Castellan Crow models in a sock and killing somebody with it.
Oh yeah, because it's straight up enough to kill somebody.
Yeah, it's an unalive material there.
There's
Just
a couple of
swing it in a
models that are like,
circle.
if I hit someone on the head sufficiently hard with this, that's it.
Dude, it's worse than a sock full of butter.
Somebody's licking the window.
I didn't know we were supposed to do acid before this.
I think it's Jeremy.
It's
Isn't it?
definitely
No,
Jeremy.
it's not Jeremy.
It's
Oh no, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike. Yeah, he plays
Tyranids.
Nids.
Yeah.
We
I was
had a
gonna say-
Starship Troopers game previously, and
Did
it was
you?
entertaining.
I-
I
yeah.
put like 6 wounds on the Swarm Lord with conscripts in close combat.
Fun.
It's fantastic.
Sounds like everyone had fun that game.
I charged Swarm Lord.
He
A rifle butt.
You got to hit people. He got to create new mulch.
I want Nids to get good for him because he just wants them.
So play
to get
Leviathan, and there you go.
Yeah.
And
New
don't
Nids
do
are
what
gross.
Sammy did, which is
Really?
Yep.
I know nothing about him.
don't
What's up?
score mine.
We
Don't
can
spoil
talk about this topic, especially next week, because
okay.
There's so many different things that I want to talk about for the new, especially Octarius book. But for me to hop back on some semblance of a track that we have,
Yeah.
most difficult model that I've ever painted. I mean, most difficult model that I ever painted, or the most frustrating model I've ever painted, had to be my Imperial Knight that I painted up.
That's fair.
Mostly because at the same time I was also painting up the Steve Mark II, which I was super happy about. I don't know if anybody. I don't have this one anymore. Yeah, nuts to you, Alex. Of course, I don't like painting up knights. But the Steve Mark II was. Yes, I was running War Convocation. It was like a requirement or something.
The sass.
Yeah. The Steve Mark II was the top half of a Thanatar Siege Automata from Forge World, and the bottom half of a Dune Crawler, and I ran it as a Dune Crawler in my
Admech?
War Convocation army, and it was really stupidly fun. I actually have pictures of it. It's trash, but I have pictures.
So?
No, this is actually, I mean, it takes my skill level to a whole specific degree of I painted silver and then I washed it with enough Nuln Oil until it didn't,
So the
Tell it
Mark
was
strategy.
decent.
The Mark strategy.
yes, perfect.
I have colors. Wash.
This here is what I call the fundamentals, and we're good to go.
I told you the first models I ever painted, right?
No, I don't think so.
I had that original force of custodians, which
like
was
he did
3
all of
bikes,
his
like 3 bikes or 6 bikes, 3 Terminators, and 5 guard boys. 5 guard boys. And I went, you know what I should do? I should paint all these assembly line. Never painted a model before in my life. Go through. In 3 hours, I painted all of them. I still have them. They are garbage.
Yeah, they're rough.
I painted with enough
But-
Nuln Oil so it stopped having feelings.
Also, the plan is for the next painting competition, I'm going to enter the worst model I can.
Ooh, shelf
So-
of shame.
Yes, things I'm going to do. Thicken my paints. Add mold lines.
Mold.
I'm
Use
honestly
an
really
entire
interested.
pot of Nuln Oil on it.
Are you just
I'm
gonna-
going to find a way.
Dude, no, just
It's
straight
easy.
up.
Just dump it on it.
Yeah, just
No, no. I will not let any of this Nolan oil go to waste. The entire pot will go on the model.
But
Yeah,
it's
that's-
all a waste.
Exactly, but that's what I'm telling you. Buy 2 pots, pour them both in a glass, and just drop the model in and leave
Just
it there
leave
for a
it
week.
there. I mean, originally what I was going to do was I was going to spray paint a model, put one swatch of white on it, and just put in the painting contest. And be
Alex
like,
says, I hate you.
don't worry, Alex. I hate myself too. I can relate to that.
Schadenfreude. Making me
Mostly
feel
because I
bad
want to
that
see you
I'm
guys
not
just
you.
take one look at it and go, "Oh, this is Mark's model."
What do you
Just
mean? We do that with
Whip
all
it
of your
somewhere
models.
else.
I'm scrolling down and all I can find is pictures of Wafes, and I'm not disappointed.
That's fair. Mark, what about you? Toughest model?
Celestine.
Yeah?
She's so tiny.
She's really finicky.
Is she? Is she really that bad?
Every year, Alex,
right.
I'm scrolling through my pictures.
Let me start with this. Her hair
Yeah.
is the dumbest attached thing I've ever seen in.
It's not part of the sculpt.
It's not part of her head. Her head and her hair are separate. Like her hair, I think, is attached to her torso, and like you push the head in behind, but it doesn't actually fit together right. So you have to just kind of wiggle it around in there till eventually she just looks like a horrible emo person. And you're just like, sure, that looks good.
Horrible emo person.
Then you start painting it, and you're like, oh, this is pretty easy. I just got to paint the armor gold. I got to paint the. Oh wait, she has fleur-de-lis everywhere. All right, well I'm trying really hard with this, so I'm gonna go paint all the fleur-de-lis.
Right.
Now she's got wings, and you know why mine's wings are silver, right?
No.
I went and looked for a white paint. Couldn't find one. So I grabbed a turbo dork that was white. Turns out it was not white. And I just absolutely completely ignored what it was. So I painted it the first layer and I went, that's a really weird tone of white. And I painted the second layer and I went, you know what? I'm starting to think I might be an idiot.
I started to think that's not white.
And so now it's silver and I love it and she's amazing. And I'm happy that she's
back
good.
up on 5s.
2s.
2s.
But only ever rolls 5s.
You know what's hilarious? For a little while, I was on a 9-game streak where I rolled 1s.
Really?
9 in a row, I rolled 1s. I've rolled more 1s than I've rolled anything else on that roll.
That's nuts.
And it's the most annoying thing because you can't CP it and you can't miracle dice it.
Oh, you can't.
Yes. If you have my
How
luck,
many points is she?
like 200 something.
She's not bad pointed for what she does.
Did you see when I was playing Mav? She literally just walked up to a Gorkanaut and went, "You're going to fight me for
Yeah.
the rest of this game," and then she
Yes.
murdered it.
Yeah.
Stab the Gorgonaut until it went away.
I will say, though, if I could redo... I forget what it's called, but there's a Age of Sigmar model where the armor is all hollow.
Ooh.
And it is just the armor. It's like living armor.
Oh, is that the...
You know what I'm talking about, yes.
Is that the one from the new Elves that came out? Where it's like...
I bought it last year.
Alex, the
Probably
reason I
not.
don't do sub-assemblies is I'm lazy.
Yeah, me too.
Where's the camera? I'm going to look right into the camera and say, I am lazy.
contact.
I will never sub-assemble something.
No.
I have fully assembled every single model, primed it fully assembled, and then painted it fully assembled.
I found
I
an R.
will
Kelly
never
meme.
do that amount of work on a model.
I will.
You cannot make me.
I will say I'm probably going to sub-assembly my Knight Valiant whenever I acquire that because the harpoon is funny.
Yeah. Honestly, I've always thought about tossing that thing on like a chain and have it like be retracting the harpoon.
Oh, I'm gonna steal that
Oh.
idea.
Do it. Do it. It's
I
gonna be
really want to
glorious.
mount that harpoon to like an orc vehicle.
The angriest poon. I just know who I'm getting 1 point against. What?
What about points?
You're a point.
Hello?
I don't know. I'm assuming this has something to do with me staring into the camera and coming after your painting life choices.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I mean, everybody's got their own style.
There
I'm an
you go,
absolute-
10
Hey,
points.
hey! It didn't say painted well. It just says painted.
It's got a
3
point.
colors and based. You have no idea how
Okay,
lazily I can
cool,
get through 3
cool.
colors and based.
This is a really good question. Based. What is your definition of based? Is it on a base or is the base finished? I say it's on the base.
There is some effort to make the base not black.
That one.
If there is anything like because like with my custodians, I put like iron, earth, and rocks and whatnot. I'll put.
I actually cringed when the question was put forwards. Do you count clear acrylic bases as being based? And by definition, it is effort put in to make a base. I have to count it. But I don't like it. I don't think they should belong in there. And if your debate is whether or not that, you like the way it looks, no, there needs to be effort. Yeah,
Question.
exactly. Effort.
Question. Flying models.
No.
Nope.
No. Flying models get a pass on it because they're flight stands.
Yeah, because like Custodes models, like
Your Custodes models are modeled for an advantage, you nerd.
No, I just
They're not on stands.
okay. There's a reason for that.
They're
There's a
not
reason.
on
finally
stands.
I didn't have
Uh-huh.
super glue for when I first built the
Sure.
custodians. Have you ever tried to attach a custodian to one of those stupid clear
Yes.
little knobby
Yes.
things
Yes.
with just plastic glue? It
Yes.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
Get good and get super glue.
I would, but now a bunch of mine are glued low.
Or
I'm just
Pull 'em
really
out? No.
inconsistent about it.
once we're accepted as base, yes, technically, but if you're submitting that to a painting competition, I'm going to look at you disappointedly.
Like they did with my horse.
Yeah.
But
All right, here's the
I
question.
didn't put it in there for that. I put it in there
How
so that way it
much-
could
I know.
potentially
How
be
much would you
inspiration for someone
discount for
else.
my outer space
That's
marines basing? Where I just okay
7. You get a 7.
I have a Space Marine force, which is supposed to be like, oh, they're out in space, but it's really badly done. But the bases also get splattered with the paint as I'm splattering the paint on the actual, to make stars on the actual Space Marines.
That sounds like freezing.
Technically, it's based. I put effort into it, even though it was already there.
Okay, I'm gonna come at you with the argument of I'm not gonna paint my bases until I want to do that style of effort because I want them all to be the same.
Hey, Alex.
Oh, you found it. Good.
Yeah, there's an Imperial Knight there in the top right. I will send that to you. I actually ended up painting. That big boy was called a Steve Mark III.
Mark III.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
I'm literally,
big
as
chungus.
you say that, I'm just in my head, I'm imagining Steve, my custodian dreadnought, even though I know it's not.
So I don't know
But
what.
he's 3 times bigger.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Stevening. I actually called I totally understand. That's the point that I was making on the Discord. So Steve, the origins of the nickname Steve, I actually finally figured out where it originally came from for me. I found a pumpkin that I was just like, hey, this looks like a Steve. And now I call a lot of different stuff Steve. Like the pumpkin I carve every year is named Steve. And now I know a guy named Steve, so
It works.
yeah.
Yes, my dreadnought is named after that Steve.
Mainly because my telemons are horrendous monstrosities that aren't anywhere near correct sizing, style.
Yeah, no.
They're
When I got the
artistic.
Telemon originally, I was just like, wait, why is this so small? Steve's Telemons are, oh yeah, Steve just built his own Telemon, so he has nothing to do with
Steve-
scale.
Is artistic. Good to go.
Also, I'd like to point out, my
License.
Telemons fought your Telemons, and my Telemons won. Or, well, my Contemptus Gladius.
I did a wound to a Telemon in the Humpty Bump phase,
He did.
and I take that as a point of pride.
You should.
I have, I've had one, I will one up you. I have had a normal sister shrug 2 melt-a-gun shots and win a game because of that.
Well, yeah, you have a 6-up invul.
Yes, I boxcard the invuls.
So I will lay
That's
this
pretty
out on here because now we're gonna go off topic again because there's only
Right.
2 viewers and whatever.
We outnumber you, so our votes count for more.
Yeah, no, Alex, we're out voting you. Bye. I had just this past week on Friday. Okay, hi Jake. This last Friday, I was playing against Connor, who's a good buddy of mine. He plays Drakari at a competitive level. He actually got like 5th place at a GT down in Nebraska this past weekend. Shout out to Connor. I know he's not on here, but I love Connor. He and I were playing a game, and he was one of the first people that got to play against the conscript horde of the new Cadia book. And yeah, it's super spicy. I had one conscript in close combat with Drazar, who super angrily blended all of his friends to just ribbons. You want to know what this plucky little guardsman did?
He
Rifle
him.
butted him in the face
Heck yeah.
for 1 wound, and then he rolled a flippin' 1 on his morale. He stuck it, and that was worth points. Just like, hey, I watched all of my friends just get blended into paste. You know what? Nah. Crack.
I mean, that's
Glorious.
such a guardsman thing.
It really is. Welcome to the guard, son.
Welcome to the guard. Your pants are brown. Have fun.
Your pants are brown. We won't tell you the reason why. Have fun. Standard issue.
Right.
These are
love the-
used pants.
Jake says hi.
Hi, Jake. I love the book that they give all the conscripts.
Yeah.
Oh, the toilet paper book?
Yeah, the book that they say that you could use as toilet paper, but if the commissar ever catches you without it, he executes you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's the Imperial Infantryman's Uplifting Primer, also combined into the Imperial Infantryman's Handbook. I have a copy.
It's
It
very
makes me
fine.
happy.
Do you use it as toilet paper?
I do not.
No, it's
you
a very
really
rare
good?
book.
It's like $400 worth of a book.
It's a very
I mean,
rare
during
book.
COVID, that would be actually probably a pretty decent source of toilet paper.
That's fair.
All right, we've been rambling for like an hour plus, and
like-
I'm hungry.
I like the idea of Chimkin, because especially since Bobby doesn't understand what Chimkin is. Hi, Rob.
Hello, Rob.
There's a baby in here, too. Is
There
that
is a
Rob's
baby.
Small
baby?
child. Hello, small child.
Baby. Okay.
How many viewers you guys got?
We have 3
3.
now. We were up to just
5.
shy of 10.
Wait, we were?
Yeah, we were up to 9 there for a little bit.
Oh. The Pikachu costume wins again.
Yes. And
Again?
helmet
It won
for...
before?
Well, of course it wins before. It wins every
It's
time.
the Pikachu costume.
Bye, folks. Thank you very much for all
Bye.
those who subscribed.
Bye.
Next
We've got
Wednesday.
Robert
Love you guys.
somewhere.
Rob's wearing
That's
a
his hand.
costume.
You got to see
Hey,
his hand.
Yeah, you